Here's a really interesting question to think about. Why is it that with education and information so freely available as we have it today, why is it that alternative therapies and medicines with no evidence underpinning them remain so popular? Hi there everyone, my name's Ollie. I'm a third year medical student on the graduate entry programme at Warwick Medical School in the UK. So someone put it to me recently, all these weird and wonderful treatments that have no evidence underpinning them or very limited or conflicting evidence, why is it that people use them so much and claim to like them so much despite the lack of evidence? I think we would all like to think that scientific literacy and understanding of science and how medicines and things work and what's good for us, this knowledge is generally on the increase. And education's getting better and there are free resources available everywhere and so much information available to patients and people as individuals. So why are huge numbers, and in fact increasing numbers of people, still compelled by these often very strange and unintuitive ideas? So just to give some specific examples of what I'm talking about, things like chiropractic, Ayurvedic yoga therapy, crystal healing, homeopathy, spiritual manipulation, all these various practices, essentially what's going on. And these principles apply to alternative medicine in the general case. What do I mean by alternative medicine? Treatments that have not been definitively proven to work using clinical controlled trials, treatments for which there's no reason to think they would work. Or another way of thinking about it is things that are not routinely taught in the average medical school that provides an accredited medical program by the GMC. And that's not to say that obviously Western doctors know everything, because they clearly don't. But the interest in evidence-based medicine comes from wanting to keep patients safe. So firstly, I think there's the simple matter of time, and that is time that a doctor or a practitioner can spend with their patient. If you've ever been for an NHS GP appointment or a hospital clinic appointment, you'll know that they're pretty time pressured. The average GP appointment lasts no more than 10 or 15 minutes per patient, and even a psychiatric consult is usually no more than half an hour if it's a regular check-in, and they're really complicated interviews. But because alternative medicine practitioners don't practice within these same time-constrained environments, they can spend much more time talking to people and getting to know them and discussing multiple problems in some degree of depth. And we know, because the studies have been done, that there's a huge amount of value that comes from feeling like you're being listened to and taken seriously, whether or not the person listening to you actually has any knowledge of what's going on. This is the premise by which groups like Samaritans and Nightline work. It's just the active listening component. It can have therapeutic value. And it's this listening that often leads to a more positive view of the practitioner by the patient, even if any treatment that they receive is ineffective. And then you just get into the state where this is perceived as a better service, as it were, because these things are often done as a private service, particularly when we consider that the people who are actually more likely to engage with alternative practices tend to be pretty well educated and middle class. They've got the money to spend. And we also have to be mindful that despite increasing educational standards and general understanding of science by the public, actual literacy and understanding of the relevant processes is often much lower than you'd think it was, because most of it is uninteresting to the average person, and it's often quite counterintuitive. Acquiring in-depth functional knowledge about the human body and the disease process is actually quite difficult, at least in a way where you really understand the nature of these problems. And most of the populace, for obvious reasons, has a very superficial understanding of how these things work. And what this means is that even very highly intelligent people can be swayed towards some pretty weird and out there ideas that make no sense, but they've had it explained in such a way that they become convinced. And that's just more a combination of the correct marketing on the part of a practitioner, personal biases that they already hold, and persuasion. And we actually know that more intelligent people are more likely to become entrenched in positions and ideologies that they already hold, which can be quite dangerous, particularly if you think about things like anti-vax movements. Because what you have to remember is that these people aren't always stupid. Sometimes they are, but a lot of the time it's no, I've been out there, I've done my research, I've put a lot of energy and time into this. I've not necessarily been looking in the right places, but I have actively tried to learn more, to do well by me, my family, my kids, and actually I've come to some wrong conclusions based on some faulty knowledge that I have. The example you could think would be something like if you were told vaccines contain mercury. Of course you wouldn't want to put that into your body. It's then more difficult to understand, but a lot of vaccines contain thimerosal, which is a kind of altered mercury compound that's completely safe for use in humans, and it acts as a preservative, from my understanding. But if you were just told this vaccine has mercury in it, which I suppose some of them technically do, you might be a bit more uncomfortable putting that into your child's body. It's a question of relative knowledge. Studies also tell us that one of the most important reasons why patients seek out alternative treatments is because conventional medicine can't give them the answer that they want, or that they think exists. So something like chronic back pain, for example, one of the most common complaints in the developed world, can be incredibly debilitating for people who have it long term, but often the cause as to why people experience it is completely unknown. And for doctors, that means that prescribing them appropriate painkillers or perhaps doing focused spinal surgery becomes impossible, because if there's no root cause that we can treat medically, you can't do a lot for them. You know, the indication for giving them drugs or surgery becomes poor, because you're likely to cause more damage to the person in trying to fix a problem that you can't solve. So therefore, in the absence of a targeted service, a patient might simply go and seek out anyone who will listen, particularly if those people claim that they have an answer. It becomes a lot more compelling, even if fundamentally what they're selling you is nonsense. Do you see what I mean? It may also be the case that some of these practices fit more closely with a patient's personal beliefs, whether they're social, cultural, religious, spiritual, than allopathic medicine does, or at least they might be perceived as a little bit less authoritarian than the normal UK medical system. Because by its nature, what I've said about evidence-based medicine, the NHS tends to be quite rigid and inflexible in terms of what it can actually do for many people, because that's the nature of health research. The reason we do clinical trials is to work out what the most appropriate treatment is for the average patient who presents with a particular problem. You'll have a first-line medication that's the best indicated, second line, third line, so on and so forth. And doctors are trained to really not stray away from the guidelines, because, you know, the guidelines are what keep people safe. We have them for a reason. But if a patient feels that these guidelines or these treatments don't match to their beliefs or what they ultimately want, they're going to be less likely to engage. And they will then feel that it's more reasonable for them to go and turn elsewhere, because alternative practitioners, as you can understand, are not constrained by the same type of guidelines because of the lack of evidence base. And the last thing I want to talk about is the importance and power of placebo. We cannot forget the placebo effect. I've talked about this more in other videos and we're not going to dwell on it now, but if a patient feels that their homeopathic or whatever alternative remedy has been effective in dealing with a problem that they have, even if that remedy has done absolutely nothing and they've gotten better by themselves, there becomes a false attribution of causation, and this leads to faith in that treatment or product. You know, you get this situation where it was, oh, I went to my local Chinese medicine practitioner and they gave me these weird little blue tablets and I took one and then my fever went away. Therefore, that blue pill got rid of my fever. Like, no, your immune system and your body naturally got rid of your fever because it's very good at fixing itself, but because of the time correlation of when you took the pill and when you got better, you have in your mind accepted that the pill made the change, and you're more likely to go back and seek that treatment in the future than seek proper medical help if something goes wrong. So as ever, the really important takeaway is that if you're concerned that a patient's dealings with alternative therapies or treatments is coming at the expense of taking real effective medicine, or at the expense of their health more generally, because this does happen, you need to have a constructive conversation with them. And you must under no circumstances ridicule them, make them feel stupid, or make them feel persecuted or personally attacked. The goal is to come to a mutual understanding of what the patient thinks is important and what you as the doctor or the medical student think is important, because in the shared decision-making model, you're both experts in your own domain. The patient knows more about their body and what they want and their priorities than you do. Your job is to provide the medical knowledge and the understanding of how the human body and medicines actually work and what the best thing is for them from your perspective. So just remember that. The goal is mutual understanding and agreeing on the best plan on how to move forward. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Please be sure to hit that like button for me, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to go and check out postgradmedic.com for more free videos on how to smash your medical interviews. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like to support the channel, there are 3 ways you can do it. The first is to share the video with a friend, comment, subscribe, engage in any way you see fit. The second is you can buy me a coffee using my Ko-Fi link in the description below to help me get through the editing process. And then the third is you can use my referral link in the description to save 10% off your first year's subscription to Complete Anatomy 2020, my favourite 3D anatomy learning and education tool. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.